A video tutorial on how you can use Klein to create uh, microservice microservices very quickly. This is a micro framework for developing microservices quickly. And let us start. So before starting, let me tell you that we need a VS Code where we will write the code. We need Postman, which is required. Let me just open Postman. So this is required to actually test the APIs which we are developing. Uh, So let us just open a folder over here. Let me start from scratch. So what I'll do, I'll go over here and I'll create a new file called .py, and you can name it anything you want to. After that, what we need to do, we need to install Klein lib package using pip. Pip is a Python package manager, so I just have to write pip3 install Klein, and once I click on enter, you see it's already installed. But once, if you don't have this package, this command is enough to install it in your computer. So once this is done, and what we have to do is to we have to actually import we have to import this package, which we can do using import from Klein. Import, we need to import run, and we need to import route. Okay, we also need to import JSON, which will be required to parse our dictionaries into JSON and return that dictionary in the form of JSON in response. Okay, so let me just comment it out there. This will be used to return JSON response using Python dictionary. Okay, then what we can do is we can write something like a route, and in this what we can do is we can define the route. Let me just write slash, and then I can define the method, but that I'll show you later on. Over here I can define a function. Let me write as home, and then I have to type in the request object, and then what we need to do is to let me just return JSON dot dumps. Our object is check. Just create a dictionary from the world. And what we need to do is for running this, all we have to do is to we need to use Python, my Python 3 for name. Along with that, you can have Python 3 or whichever Python. Python 3 is required, and what you can do is you can use which Python if you're using Unix based system, or Mac or Ubuntu. You can write which Python to get the Python version. Sorry, Python 3. Your path, you can use this, but I have by default set up Python 3 in my computer, 3.9. So I will use Python 3.9, and then I have to execute my file. So once this is done, okay, sorry. Prior to that, what I have to do, I have to tell it to run this file on the IP, which is localhost, and then the port number. I am keeping port to 8080. You can put it to 8000, whatever. So let me just try it again. Yeah, now it's running. So what I can do is I can go to localhost 8080 and let me check the result. So localhost over here 8080, you see check hello world, and this is JSON. For that, let me just quickly go to Postman. In Postman, let me just make a request over here. Let me go to JSON. So check hello world. So I have just created a API, a microservice, just using single page using Klein. So, and I will be elaborating this on how we can, in this tutorial, I will be showing you how we can define methods and how we can accept post parameters which are sent in post request in this tutorial further. So let us begin. And one more thing is that this library doesn't comes with auto reload. So every time we make a change in order to reflect it onto our application, we need to stop the execution, and then we have to again run it so that our changes are reflected. For example, if I change it to hello world 1, I save it, I go to postman, I execute it, I'll get hello world, not not hello world 1. So for getting hello world 1, I have to stop the execution and then rerun it, and then if I go over here, I execute it, I get hello world 1. Okay, so we need to keep this in mind. So changes will be reflected only if we have, once we restart our server. So let me stop the server. Let me again go to @route. Now let me create something like list users. Okay, and over here I can define method as in uh, methods, and then I can write, I have to define which methods are allowed. So let me write it post, and then def different user list, then request, then return. Same thing, just for the sake of returning same. Then let me run it. So if I go and try to get this using get, I'll get an error. Method not allowed, because over here I have assigned post and it's by default making get, and if I make a post request, this will be allowed. So we can define the method which is allowed in the API from here. Apart from that, what we can do is like we can go to body form data and we can create form data which we can send. Say for example, we can send email test@testing.com. Then we can create phone number, which can be 9876543210. We can create name John Doe. Okay, now we can send this value onto the server. But right, and how we can get these values over here? Let me quickly show you that. So let me, for the sake of writing meaningful code, let me write it user/create, and we are receiving the value user details so that we can actually create a user in our database. And over here, let me change it to create user, and let me just arguments. Let me just fetch the arguments. So for getting the arguments, what I need to do is like I need to use request dot arguments, and just let me quickly print this out just to test that what I am getting. Okay, and we run it, and let me send it. Okay, I've changed it to users and sorry user slash create. Let me just send it. Yep, hello world 1, and over here I can see byte strings. So these are not string, these are byte string. I'll show you all that how we can get this value, okay, one by one. So say for example, if I need to get the email, I need to call this key, okay, and how I can do that is like I can use get, and then I can use something like this, okay, not this, yeah, I can use something like this. Let me save it, let me rerun it, let me resend it, and over here you can see I am getting again a byte string, okay, and to convert this byte string to string, I have a function called decode. So all I have to do email dot I need to write decode, then I need to define the decoding, which is generally UTF-8, okay, and then I have to again rerun it. So once I run, I will just okay, sorry, because what we got over here was a let me show you, was a list, and our value was in our string, our byte array was in index 0, okay, so I have to do this to get the string first, and then we will get our array, okay. So in similar way we can get email, password, no password, we have phone, we can put phone, and then we have the other is name, so we can get name, okay, and then what we can do is like, let us run it again, let us see, yeah, we have everything, but doing this thing separately doesn't make any sense. So what we can do, we can create the parameters, okay, like this. Let me create something called parameters. Let me put the arguments, which is request dot arguments over here, okay. Once this is done, what we can actually do is like we can create for we can create another array called let us call it array, or let us call it parameter list string array, okay, and let just define it like this, and what we can do over here, byte array, byte array. So over here we have byte array, and in this we'll store our string array, and I'll show you what I actually mean by this, which is right, parameter byte array, and then for, let me just write for key dash value in my parameter byte array dot items, okay. I can just let me do one thing, let me print key, and then let me print the value, so that everything will be more clear. Stop and restart the server. Let me try to run it, and so you can see we have this array, this is our byte array, over here parameters, and then you can see the key, the value. So key, we do not have any list. We can get directly the string or the byte string, and over here we have a list. Inside that we have byte string. So what we actually have to do is to, like, for getting the values, we need to put 0 so that we can fetch the first element of that list. Let me just do it again. So you can see now we have everything as a byte string. Okay, now what we have to do is, let me just quickly create some a sanitized byte string array. So in this we will have something called key. We have to, like, pass this byte string into string. So what we have to do, we have to write key dot decode, which I have showed you earlier, decode. Then we have to write the decoding, which is UTF-8, and which will be equal to our value, which will be value dot value 0 dot decode. Then we have to do it like, we have to put the UTF-8 thing. Then once this is done, I can print our string array, string array over here to show you what we actually have over here. Let me just comment this out just to keep things separate and clear. So running it again, executing it, so you can see we have a dictionary where keys are byte string and even the values are byte string or byte array. And in this one, which is, we have just converted this from byte string to string, and these are the parameter array which only has string. So this is a dictionary with string, so you can see it over here. And now using it, I can easily call phone, get phone like this. We need to call it, yep. And then as again I have to rerun the server and get my phone number. So this is it. Using this Klein library, what we can do is, like, we can easily create small microservices, and we can convert our Python script very easily into a web service. So if we want to practice something, or if we want to create small microservice, we can use this micro framework to quickly deploy things out, or quickly start a small server where we can get a URL which we can define over here and the port, and based on that, what we can test our codes or create a microservice and use it. So, and I will get into more details in next video about this, and please do like, share and subscribe, and if you like this video and if you learn something new, please comment it. Thank you.